accomplish, the transformation has to start from within. And so that's why I consider myself a transformation coach, because that's what I go for no matter what someone is wanting to accomplish in their life, is the internal transformation, because that's what's going to sustain you. If everything else falls apart around you, you will be good. And so the mindfulness space, of course, is what allows you to transform. So when you're mindful of your own self, your energy, and aware of people around you and your surroundings and other people's energy, you're more sensitive, you're going to be more intuitive, and you'll be guided into what you're supposed to be doing concerning your life. And so mindfulness is very, very important when it comes to transformation. 100%.
Okay, hold up. You're not going to bust out with no midnight train in Georgia because you're looking like Gladys Knight. Oh, I don't see the pips over there. You're looking like Gladys Knight over there. You know, are you going to bust out with a midnight train to Georgia on us?
You're so silly. Probably not.
I'm sure you've heard that before, the Gladys Knight thing, right?
No,
have you heard
I
that
have
before?
Not. No.
You haven't? What? Wow. Yeah, I actually met her in person once when she was dating Les Brown, the motivational speaker.
Yes.
So they had a little thing for a while.
Right, they did.
Combination. You know, wow. Yeah. So Nancy, let's put this up front first. Okay. You are, this blows my mind, the youngest of 15 children.
Absolutely.
How is that possible? How's that humanly possible?
Oh, honey,
your mom was like a superwoman.
Absolutely. All natural births, all of them. That's what's crazy.
Wow.
That's even crazier. That's for sure.
I mean, man, I like to see the family reunions. Like, the youngest of 15, that's
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That is. I enjoy having a large family and having a lot of siblings. It's a lot of fun, especially now that we're older. So we enjoy each other a lot.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Wow. So yeah, this coaching thing now, we spoke the other day and I said to you that a gentleman by the name of LeBron James, right? The guy works on himself. I mean, he's hurt right now. That accident that he happened, the injury that he had, it was kind of hard to avoid. The guy fell on his leg. So it's like, but he takes care of himself. He invests $1.5 million in his training, conditioning, nutrition, food. I mean, everything to do with his physical body, taking care of himself so he can perform on the court.
Absolutely.
And he's doing that, like almost 15, 16 years. So he invests in himself. How important is it for people to invest in themselves?
Oh my God.
Coaching and just in general, huh?
Yes, I think because coaching is, I feel like everyone should have coaches in different areas. I mean, because I have them myself. Okay. However, the investing in yourself is what sometimes I feel like a lot of people don't understand the importance of it really at a soul level, because, our soul consists of our mind, will, emotions, and intellect. And if we are not so into that aspect of who we are, which is really who we are, that's where our thinking happens, our beliefs happen, our paradigm is built, and it's evolving. And so if we're not continually putting information and taking in ideas and concepts and even understanding other people's perceptions of how they view the world, we won't grow and evolve. We won't learn new things. We can't get better, become better versions of who we are. And so I'm not the same person I was even 3 years ago or 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Because I'm continually pouring into myself because it's important. It's important. I mean, you are going to be with yourself forever.
Wait, you said you're pouring into yourself. What exactly does that mean?
When I pour, it's a purposeful thing. When we get water, I have a glass of water right here. I purposely brought that water because I'm planning to drink that water. I'm planning for it to benefit my body. Do you get what I'm saying? So when I jump into pouring into myself, I will go and delve into a deep study on the mind, or a deep study on my physical body, or a deep study on my thinking, or how on mindfulness, anything. And I will purposely delve into that for the purpose of ingesting, processing, so that it can benefit me. We have to pour. Okay. We got to feed. It's like a feeding of that we're doing, that we're giving ourselves.
Right. Okay. So this is not a disrespect to anybody, but there are some people that might not be aware of certain things that they could do, or they just might not be serious about this thing called achieving success. They feel like, oh, I just, that's for them, that's for somebody else, that's not for me. Or I'm too old, I'm too young. We talked about the age-itis.
Yeah.
I might be too old, I might be too young. It's not for me. My time has passed. So what do you say to them?
And we talked about this the other night. And when I tell you, we were talking about the well-planned lies, that excuses are well-planned lies. And a lot of times, because we just sometimes don't believe in ourselves, and we don't want to just say, I don't believe in myself. I don't know who I am. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know. We don't want to just say that. So it's just better to say, oh, it's too late for me because of how the world is perceiving success. Well, nobody can define success for your life but you. No one can tell you, no one can tell me what is good for me except for me. Wow. Because I know what I'm here to do, a work. I'm here to show up in a certain way. Do you know what I mean? If I know that I'm here to show up in a certain way, I cannot be concerned about, what everyone else is perceiving concerning me. I have to do what it is that I'm supposed to be doing for my life. So if that is pouring into myself, going, taking courses, doing things so that I can be better for humanity and for myself. Because the thing that we're all looking for is to feel purpose. And that's where you find it. And I think people are looking or reaching for something so big. They're waiting for that suddenly, kind of thing to happen, when every day we're living on purpose. If you look around you, we pay attention to everything that's happening around us, we are purposefully living. But we think that these little things that we're doing, this person we encountered today, I encourage them, but we don't look at as that was a purposeful moment. I'm on track. I'm doing what I'm here to do. It's not about the waiting for this big thing to happen. All these things happen as we're growing, and we just start to as people, as a soul, begin to expand on a bigger level. You become bigger. Your energy field even expands. That's what people don't understand. Your energetic field grows as you grow.
I have said to people, told them how great they are and how amazing they are, and that they're a champion. And who's talking about me? Who? You talking about me? I'm great. I'm a champion. Even my engineer, the person that put this program together, was a basketball player. Played at a very high level of basketball. Mm-hmm. And then before that, the guy was in prison.
Right.
He did time. So we have to be careful. He's a prison guy, so we got to be real nice to him.
We have to be really nice.
But wait a second. My point is that prison, high level basketball, now look what he's doing.
Right.
This program he put together.
Absolutely. Oh, that's so awesome.
What's possible for our life, Nancy Manning? What is possible?
Let me tell you what's possible. If we really can conceive it mentally, you hear people say that. If you really in your mind can conceive a thing about yourself in your mind, and you can really, really see that thing, that means it already exists in the quantum field. There's no way you can imagine something that isn't already. Does that make sense? How can I imagine something if there is no way for it to be manifested? If it doesn't already exist, it's just waiting on me to identify it. It's waiting on me to step into the energy where I can manifest it, where it can unfold in my life. So our purpose, everything, Ricky, everything that we're ever going to do in this lifetime already exists. It's already here, and it's right now. What it is that as we're pouring into ourselves, our energetic field grows. We jump from one frequency of believing into another frequency of believing. And when we step into the space where we're supposed to see that thing, we're going to be in the frequency. That means that I'm in the energetic, I am in alignment 100% with that thing that's supposed to manifest. So if we're believing for things that are up here in this frequency, where maybe we're building wealth, right? But I have a poverty mindset. Well, I can believe it all I want, but if I'm not pouring into myself to change my energy, to change my field, to start walking around in feeling what wealth feels like and feeling what abundance feels like. There is no way. It takes 17 seconds for one thought, whether it's negative or positive. If I think one good thought, 17 seconds, another thought like it comes right behind it. And then what happens? Another 17 seconds, another amazing thought comes. You know what happens? You jump into the frequency of thought of where that thing is. Now I am in alignment to be able to see it and identify it. Everything already exists. It's already here. Nothing is, we call ourselves manifestors only because we have to be able to see it. It's already here.
Manifestors. Wow.
Right. Like we're manifesting, we're unfolding what is already. We're slowly becoming who we always been. Because we're here. We there's no, I'm telling you, I believe it with everything. We wouldn't be here if everything wasn't already provided.
Okay. So how did you discover that you had these special powers? When did you realize, like, I have these powers?
When I stopped listening to what other people thought of me and what other people thought I should do. When I let go of the idea that they had a say, not in a bad way, over what happens for me in my life. When I let that go, then I started to unfold who I am. I started to make decisions based on my calling, what I am here to do, what feels right and good and peaceful to me. It didn't matter if they agreed or not. When I let that go, then nothing matters anymore. When we can really let that go, that's when we're truly going to walk in the authenticity, not just the authenticity, but the organically authentic self, where I'm not that in our humanity, we're not concerned with what people think about us, because as humans, we do. But what I'm not going to do is bank on every decision I make because of what you think. Would I consider people that are in my life that I love, what they think? Hey, yes, but I don't go ask them to tell them what I need to do. Ultimately, the decision's up to me. So I can't blame anybody. If I don't like what I am manifesting in my life, then I need to change. I can't blame anybody. I'm not pointing fingers. And when you stop pointing fingers, then you realize that you really, every step that you take, every belief, every thought that you choose to receive, that is all on you. Do I want to keep thinking these good thoughts or these negative thoughts? Well, I know what I see in my future, or what already is here for me, because I've seen it. So Nancy, you got to just keep moving so that you can just manifest that thing, so that you can identify it. We can't see it unless we're in the same frequency of it. That's why it has to start mentally, where we can see it, and energetically, it's like, okay, it's out there if I've seen it already in my mind.
Now, how can you tell if someone is really serious about living their dreams, achieving their dreams and having success in their life? How can you tell if they're really serious?
When they begin to do the work that's internal. When they start to really want to clear out that old energy, that pain, and they start forgiving, and they start letting go, and they start allowing and believing for good things to happen. When we start healing our heart space, when we go back and we stop blaming people. We stop accusing people of this, that, and that, and it's because of them that I'm like this. And even if it could be that they were an influence in my life, I chose to believe and I chose to walk it out. So it's still me. So once we decide, when people are serious, they start, they're done blaming. When you are done blaming, then you are right on track. Then I know, oh honey, there's nothing they will not be able to accomplish concerning their own life. Nothing the sky's the limit. And there is, when I tell you, just limitless possibilities. Oh my God, in the quantum field, that we can decide to say, I'm going to take this route, or I can take this route, and this could potentially happen, and this can potentially happen. And it's like, it's so exciting to realize and to know that no one is in control of my life. No one. 100%. I can decide what to choose, what to think, how I want to feel, because they're my feelings. And when we start doing that, then, oh yeah, you're serious, honey. You're all about it, because you're not going to blame anyone. for what's happening or not in your life.
So what would you say if a young man, maybe like in his late teens, he's in his late teens, and he says to the world, I am the greatest. I am the greatest. What would you say to who's this young big mouth guy talk? What are you talking about? He's the great, huh?
I think that's
Class
a beautiful thing. If someone,
you the greatest, come on, get out of here, kid. Loudmouth kid.
Listen, if we don't tell ourselves, who's going to tell us? Let me tell you, I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and I said, do you ever think, and this is what I said to him, do you ever think that when you meet new people that you're thinking, because I'm gonna be honest, I think this because I think I'm pretty awesome. I do, as a person, as a human, I think I'm pretty awesome. And I said to him, nice. I said, this is not I'm in this. No. I'm pretty much by myself most of the time. Okay. So it's that, but when I meet people and I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be a great connection. I'm so excited for them. Listen, I'm excited for them. Why? Because I'm like, they don't even realize who just stepped into their space. They don't know how much I'm for them already. They don't understand that I'm not going to let them go, and I'm not going to let them give up on themselves. They just don't even know who just stepped in their space. They don't understand that they just signed up the biggest cheerleader they could ever have, the greatest supporter, the person that's not going to let you give up on you or even let you talk bad about yourself to yourself. Because if I'm connected to you, you're not going to talk about my friend like that. You're not going to talk about yourself like that because we're connected, and we're not going to do that. And at the end of the day, I would want someone to do the same for me. So when I was telling my friend the other day, I was like, you don't ever think that, man, I'm excited for them. They don't understand who oh my gosh. And then I'm excited because I know they're awesome. Awesome really does recognize awesome. You really can.
Right. But the world is telling you that you're not awesome. The news is saying that you're not awesome.
Right. And that's why
how do you
that's why I was saying, when we let that go and we stop trying to do it the world's way, because at the end of the day, we all leaving here in a box. Do you understand? We're not going to get out of life alive. There's no way that's going to happen. And so when I sit back and I think, okay, whether we live other lives, I don't know. If we do, okay, that's great. At the end of the day, this lifetime in this body is it for me. So if I'm spending all of my time concerned about what you think and what you're telling me, and that can be challenging because it's out there, but it's like, if I focus on me, I don't have time to think about what they're saying. I'm telling you, I get the news from the people closest to me because I'm like, oh, really? That happened? Oh, dang, that's crazy. And then I might search it out a little bit. But if it doesn't feel good, why am I going to sit there and the best thing for me to do is to be my best self and put my best energy out on the planet, connect with other people that want to do better. That's how we do it. So the best thing to do is to just shift the focus to you. Shift it to yourself, because we're the only ones that can change ourselves. And do you think about this, the challenge that we have really changing ourselves, there's no way we can ever change anyone's other perception or idea of how they feel about us. I can't, I'm working on me, and it's hard at times and challenging to change things about myself. Do you really think there's no way I can change these people. What they think about me, how they feel about me, how they perceive me. Everyone will perceive us differently. If we step into a room and there's 100 people in there, everyone is going to see you how they want to see you. And guess what, Ricky? I can't control that. What I can control is understanding how awesome I am. And for those that want to connect to me, they don't even know who they just who just stepped into their space and jumped on their team. They don't know.
Houses. Community Radio. The soul of the Upper West Side.
Yes, THCR I mean, that's a miracle in itself that we have a motivational program coming out of Grand Houses. I mean, can you speak to that, Nancy? The fact that we're doing this amazing program coming out of Grand Houses?
Listen, at the end of it, as long as we're all showing up, we are showing up. You showed up today. And you're showing up as your best self to give of your best self so other people can be what their best self. That's what it's about. It doesn't matter what our background is, where we are, where we're putting it out. At the end of the day, how are we choosing to show up? And the best way to show up is as yourself, because you're the only person that can be the most authentic you. No one can be you. That's why the whole idea of wanting to even be like anyone else. I mean, you can look up to people, admire people. I think all of that's good. But at the end of the day, I don't need you to be like me or want to even do anything the way that I do it. All I want to know is, were you inspired to do what you want to do for you? And stop letting other people hold you back, no matter where we live, where we come from, how we were conceived, what the situation was, what we have experienced. I'm telling you, it's time for us to just step into ourselves 100% and stop being afraid to be who we are. When you meet the real you, it's such a beautiful thing. And then you realize, what was I so fearful of? Why are we walking around wanting to be anything other than who we are? Like, there's only one me. Like, who else is going to be me if I'm trying to be you? You know what I mean? So it's just beautiful to be able to show up in a powerful way, no matter where we're broadcasting from, where we come from, who we're speaking to. It's like, do you get what I'm saying? It's just time to show up. Show up. We can't worry about everyone else. Just if we're in our lane, on our own path, that is the best thing we can ever do for humanity. Mm-hmm. We have to stop playing and pretending to be who we're not. It's time to take the mask off.
Right. So when a person goes into their home where they live, it's very important that, they have to have a key to get into their home.
Right.
And as you see, keys to success there. So what keys do people need to improve their life, to take their life to the next level? And as you says, live your best life.
I think probably the most important one, because that's what is gonna open you up to unfolding or allowing yourself to be yourself. Let me say it that way. And that is honesty with self. If you cannot be honest about who you are or have been or have pretended to be, or there's no way that you'll ever reach success in the way that I really feel that the universe is wanting, which is to be who we are individually. So if I can't sit here and say to you, let's say, gosh, I've been pretending to be like this with this person, and, I don't want to be like that. I just want to be who I am, but I'm afraid they're going to reject me. Until we can be honest enough in those spaces, there's no way we can unclutter and declutter and take off all these masks that we're wearing because we want people to perceive us a certain way. That's why I'm pretty much by myself. Either you love me or you really don't like being around me. And that's usually how it is with my connections. And let me tell you why. Because if you love me and I get people that step into my space and they just absolutely love the idea that I'm not going to allow them to blame nobody. It's like, we can heal your space, but moving forward, we're not blaming nobody. We're going to take responsibility. We're not going to make any excuses for pretending to be, we're just going to, we're going to do those things. We're going to be who we are and we're going to walk it out. That's what we're going to do, because that's what we're here to do. So for me, if we are not honest with ourselves, there's no way that we can truly find success, because I think success is an inside thing. We can say this, and this is success to me. Okay, I bought my house, I got my car, I got my, okay, and that is a form of success. If it's something that you have on your list, okay, great. But let's talk about what's happening internally. How honest are you with yourself? Because to me, the worst deception we can ever walk in is self-deception. Self-deception will tear your life apart from the inside out. It will and I did it for years. Let me tell you, I lied to myself about being happy. I lied to myself about being okay. I lied because I'm in the empowerment space. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. No, I was falling apart, and I needed to say it. I needed to say, I'm not happy. I don't like this person I've become. I feel like I can't just be who I am. I'm terrified that if I show this scar and I open up my pain, that people are going to push me away. I had to get there and be honest. And when I was able to do that, I thought, you know what? Everyone else is feeling ways that they're feeling. They're just choosing not to allow themselves to. I said, it was too heavy to carry. So we have to be honest.
We've been conditioned.
Yeah, we have.
We have been conditioned also not to show vulnerabilities.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
We've been conditioned for that, because sometimes you feel like if this person knows, they might try to hurt me. Right. So it's like a defense. A lot of people are very defensive. They protect themselves defensively. So how do you know you could trust someone to open up to them?
Okay. It's not about trusting people. And I know people probably would think this is something a different way of thinking, but just because, or from my personal experience, that being vulnerable with people, I don't really believe it's too much you having to be able to trust them. Do you trust yourself to be yourself? So if you ask me something, they said people need to earn, certain information about you. But if we're having a conversation and I know that my pain from my past can potentially help you in the moment, whether you take that and decide to do some damage with it later, that is on you. There is a universal law in place that I don't have to worry about how vulnerable I'm choosing to be with people, how honest, authentically me that I choose to be when it comes to people. Because at the end of the day, I'm just giving out what I would like to receive from people. So if they take my information and they do something awful with it, I don't have to do anything about it. There is a law that says whatever you sow, you're going to reap. And all I know is that if I am withholding information, because I believe information is meant to be shared, if I am holding and withholding from you because I'm scared to share something with you because I don't know you and I don't trust you and to me, I am really building a wall around myself. It's not just keeping people out, but it's also keeping me locked in. So now I'm walking around carrying a wall, trying to make sure nobody gets in, but then I can't get out either. So now we have this wall. So for me, and I had to tear it down, and it took me a minute. It took me some years to tear those walls down. But right now, I will share anything about myself. There's not a person on the planet that can expose anything about me that I'm not already saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you know why? Because what can you do with the information I've already given? I don't have to hide who I've been and who I am for nobody. If you like it, okay. If you don't, okay. You walk around heavy, burdened, and weighed down by stuff. That doesn't feel good.
So can you speak to these universal laws that you mentioned? You mentioned universal law, or you said there's a law.
Well, the universal
laws. Can you speak to?
Yes, the universal law I'm talking about specifically is the law of sowing and reaping, and whatever you give out, you're going to receive. And so at the end of the day, the reason why I'm like, I have to get to the purest part of who I am and be that with every individual. I don't care if I just met you. Why would I want to do that? Well, because I'm not going to give out anything, because the years that I was giving out this person that wasn't truly fully me, fully. I was me, but not fully, because I walked around with walls. I was afraid. I was terrified. And all I did was come across people that wanted to hurt me. People, why? So I was energetically in alignment because I was walking in fear. So the moment I tear that down, there is nothing that can really hurt me. Think about that. There's nothing that can really say or come in and I mean, at all, really, and someone come in to try to destroy me, because at the end of the day, I have a track record, and this is who I am. This is who I am. So if I've been putting myself out in the purest way possible, as honest as I can be about who I am, connected to you, and have been there and been loving, and when there's been a misunderstanding, I'm making it right to the best of my ability, and I'm doing the right things, you can't hurt me. It doesn't matter what you do with the information I just gave you. So there's a law that we don't have to take, how, people take vengeance, which is the most horrible thing I feel that we can do. Because when we try to take revenge and take vengeance on someone, or even rejoice when someone has done something to us to harm us or whatever, and we rejoice when something bad happens to them, let me tell you, anytime, Ricky, that I've been done wrong, not that I didn't hurt, not that I wasn't angry, not that I didn't deal with all those emotions, I worked through them because they're mine. But the moment I seen that something took place with the person that did damage or harm or was trying to, when I tell you, I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy that happened. Because when I know when they do something, I always think before it ever happens, I'm like, oh God, mercy, please. Because I know what they put out. God, mercy, don't let them get what they deserve, God, because it's going to be bad. And I don't wish harm to anyone. I don't wish harm. So even if you do wrong, I'm not going to wish harm either. I'm not going to hope something bad happens just because you did something. You have whatever coming to you that's coming to you. And I hope that it's not exactly what you deserve, because the universal laws, honey, that law right there, the law of sowing and reaping, the law of giving and receiving, all of that. When I tell you that is the perfect law, that's why if we can learn to stand back when people do something to us and we choose to bless them and ask for mercy for them, is the best place for us to be in. Because even us thinking or wishing bad on someone is sowing something. Are you not sowing vengeance? You're sowing hate. You're sowing, oh, they deserve that. I'm glad that happened.
Is there a relationship between sowing and reaping and cause and effect, the universal law of cause and effect?
Yes. The law of sowing and reaping, to me, for the most part, of course, because we can sow bad things, but a lot of people look at the law of sowing and reaping when it comes to just the great thing. The laws of, cause and effect is there's this thing over here that happened, and because of this over here. So I think it's more of an action over a mind-heart thing, because you can sow something in your heart and not even say it, and it's out there. It's out there. Cause and effect. Wow. I did this, boom, this happened. You get what I'm saying? I feel like internally we're sowing all the time by perceiving people a certain way, judging people. And then we're upset when we're being judged and when people are doing us wrong. Because anytime something happens that's not pleasant for me, I always question myself, Ricky, did I sow this anywhere?
Wow.
You know what I mean? I got to question myself first before I just be like, ooh, they're just jacked up. I can't believe they did that. It's like, did I do anything? Did I feel any certain way about this situation or that person that maybe would have brought this experience to me? Okay, lesson learned. And there's times I've been able to say, you know what? I thought that. And then I'm like, okay, I let that go. I'm like, God, I'm sorry. I apologize. I learn the lesson and move on. You know what I mean? And so that's why, we're talking about the walls and we're talking about all those things that could definitely keep us locked in when we're making connections. We should never, I feel, be concerned about what someone else's intention is. it's okay because you can sense people's intentions and then you can decide, ooh, not to connect, and that's fine too. But your intention toward me is none of my business. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if your motive is off, because motive and intention is different. If your motive is the driving force that's wanting you to create this outcome, which is the intention. If there's a certain outcome that you're looking for in a certain scenario or situation, okay, it might be something good over here, but if the driving force of what you're wanting it for is not healthy, you're not going to create that. It's going to be chaos. So motive and intention, totally different. But I feel like the cause and effect and the sowing and reaping, it comes from an internal and an outward energetic space. I think on some level, slightly different. Could be considered the same, but I think there's a slight difference.
What has been your biggest challenge as far as helping people, working with people, and helping them improve their lives? What has been your biggest challenge?
Working with people, the biggest challenge? Most times it's always just taking responsibility. People feel if somebody, has harmed them or done something wrong, okay, it's not my fault, right? I didn't do this. They touched me, they hurt me, and this is what I try to say. Yes, that is true. We're not giving them a getaway pass. We're not saying that they have whatever's coming to them is coming to them. At the end of the day, you still chose to walk away from any experience, no matter how young we were, believing a certain thing. Because remember, nothing has meaning except the meaning we give it. So if I was, abused in one relationship, and now I feel worthless and that nobody's ever gonna, want to be with me, because that's how I was made to feel. And I continually blame that man for treating me or abusing me. I can stay in that space if I want to, but I'm not going to ever be able to really have a healthy relationship because I am still blaming. I'm blaming that person for how I feel right now, for what I'm manifesting right now. And it's not, did it happen? Yes. Was it true? Absolutely. Is it still happening now? No. So you get what I'm saying? Was it true back then? Yes, but it's not who I am right now. I'm the one choosing to take it and this is what happened, and he was like this, and oh gosh, and then he did that, and then because of that, that's why I'm like this, and that's why I do that, and that's why I don't trust people, and that's why I can't believe there's any good men out there, and every man is a dog. And I mean, the relationship space is one of the topics I love too. But when I tell you, I hear so much, and then it's like, okay, so are you still in that connection? Okay, no. Okay, so then it's time to work on you. It's time to take responsibility so that you can manifest a relationship you want.
Have you started working on your book yet?
My book, yes. Actually, yes. And then I actually kind of put it on the shelf a little bit, and I'm working on, actually, I have a lot of notes I have here that I got to print up, that I got to put in my book, because I shifted into, I'm going to be doing a few ebooks, I think, because I do better. I realized instead of having like a bigger book, I think I'm going to go ahead and pull topics from my book and talk about them so they're easier to digest. They're smaller books. Okay. They're more affordable for people, number one. And I think people will do better digesting small things. So, so right now I'm actually working, see, I have all this right here of a book on cultivating sexual intimacy also, which is right after cultivating communication skills in communication in a relationship. What does that look like? Because sexual intimacy happens when there's real intimacy, because sex is not intimacy, it's sex. And when you're intimate, sex is good. You get what I'm saying? So I'm breaking it down, one of the, my books, in so that it's in little bite sizes, so that I can help people see, okay, do I have a healthy relationship? Okay, if I do, okay, great. And then we're just going to kind of go through each little topic, each little portion in the book, so that they can get through it to be able to cultivate and be able to all kind. This is going to be an interesting little book. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why. Because in this one, I'm discussing how to introduce, things into the bedroom, that people sometimes are nervous about, and, how to just spice it up, where people don't really, sometimes they're not, they're kind of apprehensive about it. Because I've coached a lot of people in the sexual intimacy space. So
have you coached men and women?
Yes, I have. I've been on a couple panels, even in Atlanta, relationship topics and stuff like that. Because, and most of them are when they know they're going to step into the sexual space, because they know I'm pretty wide open in that area, So, I've done lives at Adam and Eve's. I'm not sure if you're aware of that store. It's, of course, the intimacy store for adults. And they let me come in, they know me by my first name in there. You know what I'm saying? So, and so I come in there, they allow me to set up and bring my lights and everything. And I was able to do a live from their store just to kind of help and introduce, because most times it's women that are wanting that space, a lot of times even more than men, but how to introduce it to your person and how to begin to introduce the toys and how to go about it slowly so that it's not so overwhelming to the man, because most of the times it's the women that want that than the men.
Did I just hear? I heard toys.
Yes, because plain. Yeah, so we've talked, toys, we've talked dress up, role play, all of that. We shifted this conversation fast, didn't we?
Well, listen, we're gonna have to, we'll have to do this again. We got to do it again, because you just opened up a whole nother world there that we definitely need to talk about. That's a subject that I've never taken on. You know what? Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
We got the personal development, but that's actually a part of personal development.
It is.
I would say.
Especially if you have a partner in your life. Like, that's why I was like, when I was doing this one, I said, I have to go back and do the communication first, because intimacy has to happen first before this space of sexuality is good and clear. And you're walking in your sexual essence as a man, just like a woman in their freedom. You know what I'm saying? So in order for this to really, really go down in the purest way, in the most amazing way, you have to be intimate mentally, emotionally, spiritually with your person. There has to be an energetic connection on a deeper level. Because let me tell you, if a man get me right here, listen, and right here in my soul space and in my mind, honey, listen, it's on and popping.
Well, I heard TD Jakes say intimacy was intimacy.
Yes, intimacy. Yes,
intimacy.
Yes,
powerful.
Exactly. That's him that said that. Absolutely. Because that's the thing. Intimacy does not start in the bedroom. Intimacy starts outside of the bedroom. And then understanding, you've heard people talk about the love languages and all that. That's important to know how your mate receives love. A lot of times we're trying to give love and show love to our person in the way that we want to receive love, but that's the wrong way. I got to study my partner enough to know how he responds to love. Is it physical affection, physical touch? Is it quality time? Is it, what is it? You know what I'm saying? So is it, gift giving? Is it acts of service? What is it? How can I show him that I love him? Right? How does it that I love him? And it's by showing him his way, not my way. Does that make sense? And so if we don't understand all those things, that's why the sexual space suffers a lot in the connection. A lot. So this is a great topic.
All right. It is. Okay, I'm gonna leave it right there. Listen, I want to thank you, Nancy. This has been awesome. We got to do it again. Yes. I mean, it's like you got topics on top of topics on top of topics, but I really enjoyed it, and it's always something to learn. And I'm here to learn. I'm a student.
We're both learning, aren't we?
All right. So, Nancy, man, I want to thank you and continue blessing. And let me get your contact information.
Yes, my contact, well, of course, on social media, I'm Nancy Manning Live across all social media platforms. NancyManningLive.com is my website. They can go get some inspiration, good things like that. And they can reach out for any type of coaching through the website. Be super, super awesome, especially because I'm developing some courses right now. So it's pretty cool.
All right.
It's gonna be great.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you. We'll chat soon.
I will talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. All right, this is Rick Young signing off at GHCR .NYC. And I want to thank Nancy Manning. She did a magnificent job, and we're going to have her back to share some more insights, wisdom, and success, and some of that love language. Yes. I'll see you soon, guys.
I'm working hard to get this surplus food here. Some of you say to me, well, I'm not like you. I'm not a congressman. I haven't got education. I haven't got work. But you're a human being. And you know what you've got? You've got in your hand the power to use your vote and to use even those few cents you get from welfare to spend them only where you want to spend them. A young slave boy stood one day before the greatest ruler of his day. And God said to Moses, "What's in your hand?" And Moses